We are told 8 hours is the gold standard for sleep, but that number is a Victorian invention, not a biological law. For decades, the answer to how much sleep an adult needs has been simple: 8 hours. It feels like a solid mathematical ideal, but this number is not a biological constant, it is a cultural artifact. The idea dates back to the mid-19th century. It emerged when the notion of 8 hours of work, 8 hours for recreation, and 8 hours for sleep first took hold in industrial societies. It was a schedule for the factory floor, not a prescription for the human brain. Now, a new narrative review in the journal Brain Medicine challenges this comfortable assumption. The article notes that growing evidence suggests 8 hours may not be the ideal amount of sleep for everyone. To find out how much people naturally sleep, researchers have looked away from modern bedrooms. They have studied hunter-gatherer communities. These groups live lifestyles closer to those of our ancestors. They have little or no access to artificial light. Their sleep patterns offer a window into our evolutionary past. In one early study, researchers found that people in Tanzania, Namibia, and Bolivia slept for between 5.7 and 7.1 hours a night. These short sleep durations cannot be attributed to modern stressors. There is no traffic noise. There is no social media scrolling. There is no blue light from screens suppressing melatonin. The short nights also seem to be enough. People did not make up for them with long daytime naps. Without an alarm clock, they tended to wake close to dawn, regardless of the day of the week. This suggests a flexible circadian rhythm tied directly to the sun. Exactly how long people are found to sleep in pre-industrialized societies varies. It depends on how sleep is measured, where people live, the season, and other environmental factors. But one recent analysis estimated the average to be 6.4 hours. This is significantly lower than the modern standard. So, is 8 hours too much? These studies make an important assumption. They assume that the amount people naturally sleep is the amount they need. That assumes that hunter-gatherers are free from stress, busy schedules, and other pressures on sleep. But is that really the case? They face food scarcity, they face physical danger, they face the exhaustion of survival. We also do not know whether people in these studies are sleeping as deeply as we do. The quality of sleep in a pre-industrial setting may differ from a climate-controlled bedroom. The review highlights that we cannot simply equate duration with sufficiency. We must consider context. The absence of artificial light allows for longer exposure to darkness, which might extend the window for sleep, even if the total hours are fewer. This complexity is often lost in simple headlines. A common counterargument appears in the comments. One commenter pointed out that the average lifespan in these eras was 38 to 43 years. They argue we should not take these folks as a portrait of good health. This is a valid statistical point, but it is a misinterpretation of the data. As another commenter clarified, that low average is mostly because many die as children. If you survive to adulthood, you got a good chance to be at least 70 years old. This distinction is crucial. It means that the people we are studying as models for natural sleep were not dying of old age at 38. They were living full lives until very old age. Their bodies were built for longevity, not just early survival. This supports the idea that their sleep patterns were sustainable and healthy. What we need to remember is the type of work they were doing. It was dramatically different. Recovery time from high mental loads, such as academics or research, is different than high physical loads. Modern life is filled with cognitive fatigue that does not burn calories. Hunter-gatherers burn physical energy. They may wake up refreshed because their bodies are physically spent. We wake up tired because our minds are still racing. The lack of artificial light helps them disconnect. They do not need to worry about a plethora of things that they do not have the power to change. But we do. Our sleep is fragmented by notifications, deadlines, and worry. This mental load may require more time in bed to achieve the same restorative effect. The 8-hour rule might still be necessary for us, even if it is not for them. The community reaction to these findings is mixed but insightful. These studies come up so often that Matthew Walker talked about it in his book Why We Sleep almost 10 years ago. He noted that when you read the paper, you will learn that the tribespeople were actually giving themselves a 7 to 8.5 hour sleep opportunity. This nuance is often missed. They are in bed for longer, even if they sleep less. Plus, as one commenter noted, you are forgetting all the things we take for granted. Fetching water and firewood are 2 tasks alone that are huge time sucks. These physical demands shape their entire daily rhythm. Their sleep is not just a biological default. It is a response to a specific way of life. We cannot simply copy their schedule without adopting their context. The takeaway is not that we should all sleep 5 hours. It is that the 8-hour rule is a guideline, not a law. Our natural rhythms vary by individual. Some of us may need more time in bed to recover from modern stress. Others may thrive on less. The key is consistency and quality. We should listen to our bodies rather than the clock. If you wake up refreshed after 6 hours, you may not need 8. If you need 8, that is fine too. The goal is restorative sleep, not a specific number. The hunter-gatherer data reminds us that our relationship with sleep is flexible. It is shaped by light, activity, and stress. By understanding this, we can design better sleep environments for ourselves. We can reduce artificial light. We can manage our mental loads. We can find our own optimal rhythm. The 8-hour rule is a Victorian habit, not a biological law. Hunter-gatherers sleep less, but their context is different. What is your optimal sleep duration? Let me know in the comments. I will see you on the next orbit.